Welcome to my world. Handicapped man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, "Hey, you want some shoes?" I said, "Yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well." And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. I'm not we, but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone.
Ever wonder what happens when nitro meets fire? It's lightning in a bottle. Thunder rolls in your chest, multiplied by 4 times the power of 11,000 horsepower down the strip. It's an experience like no other. See for yourself April 11th through 13th at the 4-Wide NHRA Nationals at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where every ticket is a pit pass and kids under 12 and parking is free with general admission. The 4-Wide NHRA Nationals, April 11th through 13th.
Race friends, they're back together again. Live from Daytona Beach, Florida, it's Scratch with a K. And live from Las Vegas, it's Alan Michaels. Right here, right now, on the flagship station, the WCOBM TV network. It's on Pit Road Racing.
Live from Las Vegas. Here he is. There's your old Scratcher, man. There you guys. Man, he's down at Daytona Beach, Florida at the Nutjack Studios. Alan Michaels here in Las Vegas at the network studios at the WCOBM. Ready to go. Hey, Scratch, it's a good thing that we started this a little bit early because we're not going to wait around at all. Stand by, because previously our special guest today drove 6 seasons for Front Row Motorsports in the number 34 Ford. On his 358th career start, man, he scored the big prize, capturing the 221 season and opening Daytona 500. From that point on, he will be known as a Daytona 500 champion. Got his second big cup victory at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We got to kiss the bricks there. He now drives the number 71 Delaware Life Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports. Joining us is Mr. Michael McDowell. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to the show, man.
Hey, how's it going? You guys doing all right?
Yeah,
doing
man.
great.
We're fantastic. Scratch, I know you've been biting at the week. We always ask our guests to tell us about the racing career and everything else and where you got started. But Scratch there in Daytona has been biting at the top, the chop on this thing about you flipping and wrecking in Texas. So can we start with that, and that'll get that out of the way?
Yeah, man. I'm like upset. I saw an interview too so I know it doesn't really bother you that much because I saw an interview where you said it kind of put you on the map. You know, where, it was your rookie season. It was your second race of the year, man. But, I'm from Daytona, and I've been to every Daytona 500 since 79, man. So, congratulations on winning the biggest race in Cup. All right. But listen, when somebody says the name to me, Michael McDowell, I go back to that 00 Aaron's car flipping in Texas, man. I can't help it, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it was a big one for sure. Like you said, it's not one of those things that bothers me. It really doesn't. I mean, it's it's a big crash, right? And
yeah,
I've been a fan of the sport for a long time too. And you always go back and watch those big wrecks, right? And that's just part of it.
Yeah.
You never want it to be you, but it is what it is. So yeah, it's one of those things that, every time you go to Texas, they're going to play it on the big screen and you're going to see it over and over again. And it's part of my, my story. And it's one of those days that I'll remember forever. It's not something that, you forget. You always remember those big ones and you feel thankful. You know what I mean? You feel thankful to walk away and to be able to do it another day.
Yeah, man.
Michael, we always start with every guest there. Well, tell us how you got started in motorsports, what got you to it, what brought you to it, why you wanted to do it.
Yeah, so I would say I'm a first generation racer, right? Because I'm the only one, out of my family that has done it professionally. But I grew up with a bunch of gearheads, really my mom's side. My grandfather had an automotive machinery shop and had an auto parts store and imported some motorcycles and always had something that went fast. And so my mom and, her brothers and sisters grew up around dirt bikes and racing. And so it's kind of always been in the blood. But it got real for me, I would say, when I started racing at the local go-kart track in Phoenix. I grew up racing BMX bikes and dirt bikes and things like that. But once I started racing go-karts, it kind of took on a whole nother passion. And that's really where it got started for me. And, it started out just racing locally and, kind of winning those races. And then we started traveling a little bit. And then we started, doing like the regionals and the nationals. And next thing you know, like it's full on pursuit of trying to turn this into a career.
Okay. Scratch question for you.
Man, I'm a big fan of the underdog, man. So you winning that Daytona 500 was amazing, bro. I'm just to let you know that right now. Big fan. And one thing I thought of too. So you've won 2 of the big races, in Indianapolis and Daytona, and Darlington's one of them. And then I start thinking about that wreck a little bit too. And I wonder, I got a question, man. You ever thought about doing the throwback to that 00 Aaron's car during the Darlington races? Has that ever come up in conversation? Is it something that interests you, or is that something you're like, man, let me just get out of that for a minute?
No, I tried to a couple years ago. And I might be wrong, but the throwback, when it originally started, it kind of had like years and eras that it was doing it, right?
Right. It seems like it did, yeah.
And that was kind of cool because it was like you could follow along and kind of pick out something. And so I forget when it was. It might have been 2 or 3 years ago, but I was like, let's see if we can do the Aaron's car. And we tried to get them to do it, and they didn't want to do it. We were trying to get Aaron's actually on it. You know what I mean? To sponsor it and do it. So it's kind of funny though. You fast forward now, and Aaron's is on the 34 car at Front Row this year. Yeah. And so that's kind of interesting. I missed it by just a year, but it'd be cool to do that. I don't know, like throwing back to yourself. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. I mean, I guess it could be cool, but it also shows that you're old. I don't know what's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, but throwing back to that Aaron's car though in your rookie season, that's that'd be understandable, I think.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that next year. Maybe that's what we'll shoot for.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be really cool. Are you doing a throwback this year?
So we're not, and part of it's my fault too. My team asked me, hey, do you have anything that's like super meaningful for you, going to Darlington, throwbacks and all that? And I was like, hey, well, what's the theme? What year is it? What era is it? What are we talking about? They're like, oh, no, it's just whatever you want. And I'm like, yeah, I'm over it. I'm just not, I'm kind of over the throwbacks at this point, Yeah. I didn't have anything. So, we'd have to put some time into it to do it right. I feel like it's kind of run its course a little bit. Yeah. Like I said, I liked it when it was a little bit more structured, right? 90s and 80s and 70s, and you kind of pick that era and you kind of pick your favorite guy or cool paint scheme. But I feel like we've done so many cool ones now, right? And we've done most of the cool ones, and now you're seeing them kind of redone again with different cars and different sponsors. So, I think probably my favorite throwback was the Bill Elliott car that I did a couple years ago, and it was neat. It was turned out nice. It looked cool. They even made a die cast of it. It was a freight auctions car, and it turned out really awesome. So I think if it's got meaning and purpose behind it, it's fun, but it's hard just to pick one. You
got to win at Daytona, win at Indianapolis this weekend. It's the Lady in Black. She's tough to tame, man.
Yeah.
Man, to get this one, man, that would mean one away from taking the quadruple out of there. Next would be the Coca-Cola 600, man. Are you focused and ready to go for Darlington?
Yeah, Darlington's been great for us, actually. It's a place that I love. It's, like you said, it's hard. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's been hard, and it continues to be hard. Everything has to go your way, and it's just so easy to get yourself in trouble there. And so it's fun. It's a fun racetrack. You feel like you earned your money at the end of the night. You feel like you really put in a full day's worth of work. But yeah, looking forward to it. There's a lot of new this year, right? With being with a new team and new setups and new processes. And so even though I've had a little bit of success there before, it's like coming back there with something new and hoping that you'll make that next step. So last few weeks we've been building momentum, so feel good about it, and we'll see what happens.
Scratch, go ahead.
So, first of all, you've had longevity in the sport, which is, something that's hard for some people to do. We talked about, the wreck your rookie season, but you've come a long way since then.
Yeah.
So, the longevity in the sport, man, you should, congratulations on that, because
Thanks.
that is definitely something that's tough in NASCAR. When before you got into the Cup, who were you rooting on? Like, who was your favorite NASCAR driver, even growing up? You can go back as far as you want.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who's your guy? Like, when I
Yeah.
say that, who's your guy you come to?
Yeah, that is a good question. So I grew up road racing and mostly, Indy cars and sports cars. And so, NASCAR, I'd watch the races, but I didn't grow up in the DVR era, right? So like you either watched it live or you didn't watch it, it was like you got to see it again. But I'll tell you, when Jeff Gordon, he was running sprint cars and midgets and all that stuff in Arizona and run the Copper World Classic, and him and Tony Stewart, and there was a bunch of those guys, Mike Bliss, that were kind of coming up through it. So when Jeff came onto the scene in Cup and then Tony came on, those were my two guys, right? I kind of pulled for them. And my cousin was a diehard Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan, and their family was. And so they hated Jeff Gordon. So I pretty much picked Jeff Gordon just because they hated him so much, and it was a lot of fun. It made those weekends a lot more feisty. But yeah, those were my guys, just because I'd watch them at the, local short tracks and things like that. And yeah. And then, when I got into it, I ended up racing against those guys, which just the timing of it, I feel like I got like one of the coolest spots for me in general is I came in, at the tail end of, Bill Elliott and Dale Jarrett and those guys, right? That were finishing up their careers and had long, great careers. And then almost this Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards, you go through the whole thing. And then now I'm in the Kyle Busch, Larson era, right? But I was in the Jimmy Johnson era too. So it's kind of cool that, I was there. I've been there long enough to see a lot of those guys, finish out their careers. Maybe not when they were at their peak, but finishing them out. So it's been pretty cool to be a part of, a couple of those generation of racers.
Yeah, and you've beaten some of those guys along the way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Joining us through the satellite right now, driver of the number 71 Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports is Mr. Michael McDowell. He's on to this. Mike, a lot of internet talk, media talk over this past couple of weeks about drivers tearing stuff up. Martinsville, the Xfinity race. I mean, that was my home track, buddy. I used to live down in Eden, North Carolina, about 12 miles from there. And like Scratch was at Daytona, buddy. I was at Martinsville, and always saw good racing. But is things getting out of control with this? Does the sanctioning body need to step in? I almost like Kevin Harvick's thing. Why are we waiting till Monday to penalize somebody? Why don't we just penalize them right off the bat? If you do something, we're going to pull you in. You got to hit your pitch. You got to sit for 5 seconds, and we'll let you go, or whatever the penalty. Your thoughts about how the sport's growing with these young kids. They're tearing up an Xfinity car, Michael, if I'm not right, anywhere from $1 to $8 million, right?
Yeah, so I think that it's a little bit of a both, right? It's a different generation for sure of racers and how they grew up racing, which I don't, I didn't grow up racing short track, so I don't have a whole lot of input on what that was like. But I would imagine it was like how I came up, where I worked on my own cars and I worked at the teams. And even when I was racing Formula cars, like I knew that we had one car. And if I broke this car, I wasn't racing the next week. Or I had to fix it myself. And so I feel like some of that has gone away, of just that, the process of getting to where you have to get to. Yeah. And that's not their fault. It's not those drivers' fault that that's changed. It's the fact that our sport is super expensive and you got to bring a lot of money if you want to be here. And so doing it on your own and out of your garage anymore is hard to do. It's just hard to do. And so I think there's an evolution of the sport that you can't control. That's just part of it. But I think as far as the etiquette and what you do on the racetrack, I'm a little bit on the side of, I don't necessarily want NASCAR to be the one policing all that.
Right.
But the flip side is that it's not self-policing anymore. And what I mean by that, like when I was a rookie, if I would have ran into Tony Stewart, he would have just put me in the fence and it'd have been over with. And you would have never done it again.
And most likely that I've interviewed Tony before, and most likely after the race, you'd have been stepping up to the hauler too. Okay. And it wasn't for a cold beer either. I mean,
yeah. So it's just a different process, than it is now. And there were guys that got sat out. There were guys that lost their rides for crashing too much, and that was a real thing. And now that is different. So I do think it's going too far. I think what you saw on track on Saturday was not good. I don't think that's good. I also don't think that putting young guys in a situation where if you win and you're in and you have a shot at a championship is the best route either. Yep. Because what are you going to do? You're at a short track with 1 lap to go. And if you win this race, you're going to have a shot at a championship. Like, I think you should have to earn it throughout the entire season and you should have to score enough points to do it. Yes. So I think that changes the mentality too. That's changed how people approached it. Yep. Even myself, if it's Christopher Bell in front of me at Martinsville and I know he's already won 3 races, I'm going to move him because I'm not going to take him out of the championship because he's already in the championship.
Right.
I'm not hurting his season. You know what I mean? And so you actually have to think about those things when you're out there now because there's so much on the line. You're talking about not $1 million difference. You're talking about $5 to $7 million difference if you win a race or not.
Right.
And so to not go for it, I think your team would be upset with you and your partners would be upset with you. I don't know that I would go for it from 5 car lengths back and just hogger it in there. But I think we've created a little bit of this with the format. You know what I mean? I think the Cup guys do have more respect in general. I mean, we still make mistakes and do dumb things all the time, but I feel like a lot of times it's racing hard or mistakes. So yeah, I don't know if there's a clear answer. I think what they're saying is if you crash somebody or if you take somebody out, that you just get penalized right there, whether you get held a lap or you get held for 10 seconds or whatever it is, there's immediate consequences. Problem with that is that I just don't necessarily want them policing all that. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Because I can tell you a perfect example is I was racing Bobby Labonte at Sonoma. This is a guy I grew up admiring, champion, right? And it was super helpful to me in my early days of my career of just mentoring and just being available. Because not everybody is available, just so you know. Like the veterans weren't always there to say, hey, this is what you should look out for. But there were some that were. Anyways, long story short, he was faster than me. I was trying to let him through, but I was trying to just let him through. I wasn't trying to let the 2 or 3 cars behind him through.
Right.
And so I let him go by and I tried to tuck in right behind him. And as I was tucking in right behind him, I just mistimed it and I hooked him. I hooked him straight into the wall. Like it looked like I literally just right hooked him and just crashed him, And it was a complete accident. I mean, 100% an accident, just trying to get in line and trying not to lose too many spots. Still my fault. You know what I mean? But I think that the intent and how you get to that place of that confrontation should matter. You know what I mean? Right. And I don't think NASCAR can keep track of all that, but we do.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah, right. Of course.
So let us police it.
Let them police it. I get
right?
it.
Like if Bobby Labonte thought that I did that intentionally and I didn't have a conversation with him after Sonoma, he would have handled it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that we could probably police it for them, but I don't know that they would love it, And
well, us as fans would.
Yeah.
I mean that's what made the sport popular. Back in '79 with Donnie and Bobby and Cale. That fight launched this thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not that I'm saying you guys should jump out of a car and beat each other up. I'm not saying that. I mean, unless it needs to be done. But your answer is phenomenal. I mean, that's I agree with that 100%. What you're saying, and as fans, we would love it, man. Just little payback. And
I think as fans and even as reporters and people that cover the sport, Michael, we like to see the bumping and the rubbing, and there's a way to move somebody out of the way, to move them out of the way, and to get what you need. Rusty Wallace's old rule, if you remember this, Rusty Wallace's old rule was the following thing: either lead, follow, or get the out of my way. because he'd move you out of the way, not intentionally put you in the wall. But, you know, I think I look at the car owner and I look at the sponsor. And, you know, the money, like you said, $1 million to $8 million, you know, you never know how much the team is put. But anywhere, I did some research, $1 million to $8 million for an Xfinity team. And if I was an owner and my driver went out there and tore my stuff up, I'd be awful upset. And then I'll leave this on the final comment. I caught coffee with Kenny Wallace. Kenny Wallace said the only bad thing about Sammy that he didn't do, he didn't win it. He took him out, but he didn't win it, you know?
That's right, yeah. He's right about that. I don't know Sammy well enough. I don't have an opinion one way or another. Yeah. You know, but I feel like the Xfinity series in general is just like that. Those guys are just like that. They don't care a whole lot, right? And what you're saying about the owners, I mean, the problem is that sponsorship Sammy's and that money Sammy's. And so he's paying for that car already.
Yep, there you go. That
Dale Jr.'s not paying for that car. Sammy is. And he destroyed it, and he'll pay for it. You know, and so that's where it's changed. You know what I mean? Like, you'd get fired before. You can't get fired if you're the sponsor.
You're the money. Yeah, if you got the money, right?
If you bring What did Kyle Busch say? Scratch a couple of weeks ago. It was on the podcast. He said, the question was asked, how do you get into Cup racing? Kyle looked straight in the camera and said, bring $6 million, $6 to $8 million, and you got your ride, man. Come on. Right. That's what he said. I mean, you know, I'm not denying. We got just a couple of minutes with you. Want to thank you so much. I hope you're feeling better, man. JP said you were feeling a little under the weather there. So
man. Yeah, I'm feeling way better. I had the 24-hour stomach bug, and it was rough. But I woke up this morning, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to drink some water and eat some food here for the first time. See how it goes. So I'm back in the game. Luckily, I got it in time because, you know, you don't want to get that Saturday morning or Sunday in the race weekend. So, I feel fortunate that I got through it.
We've seen a lot of drivers go through those rough type races and have to be pulled from the car and all kinds of stuff. I can't imagine you want to go through that. That's a nightmare.
No.
We got about a minute left with you, Michael. We have a lot of young viewers that watch the show that are coming up, like you said, through sprints, quarter midgets, go-karts, bandos, legend cars. And I always ask our guests, especially with somebody like you that spent your time here in Vegas, we call making it the bones, man. Some encouragement for these young kids that are coming up through that, you know, some good things that they should do, bad things that they should watch out for, just some words of encouragement from a seasoned pro like yourself.
Well, I mean, what I would encourage you is just keep chasing your dream. I know that's generic, but I'm a guy that came from nothing, right? And even when I got into the Cup Series, still had to grind it out for another 15 years before I saw success, right? So just keep chasing your dream, keep fighting for it. And then, you know, the practical side of what we've been talking about is you have to not only be able to work on your cars and drive them, but you have to also be able to go find the sponsors and put the deals together, because like it or not, that's part of what our sport is. And so it should be considered as important as any other training that you do for it, right? Like, you should work hard at that part of it because it's going to be an important part in the future. You know, I was fortunate to just break in right before all that sort of went away, when manufacturers were spending a lot of money and there was still a lot going on. But now it's, you know, you have to have every aspect in order to make it. So, you know, just making sure you're well-rounded.
He'll be driving down in Darlington, South Carolina this weekend. Could he pick up that third victory? The quadruple is standing by waiting for him. He's in the number $71 Live Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael McDowell, for joining us, man. What a great guy. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be careful. Keep the pedal to the metal, my friend.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. He was a good guy right there. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Well, come on. We're going to go to a quick break, everybody. When we come back, we'll get you ready to rock and roll with more action of On Pit Road Racing. Scratch down in Daytona. Alan here in Las Vegas. Back in about 2 minutes, everybody.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Ever wonder what happens when nitro meets fire? It's lightning in a bottle. Thunder rolls in your chest, multiplied by 4 times the power of 11,000 horsepower down the strip. It's an experience like no other. See for yourself April 11th through 13th at the 4-Wide NHRA Nationals at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where every ticket is a pit pass and kids under 12 and parking is free with general admission. The 4-Wide NHRA Nationals, April 11th through 13th.
Get ready for it, buddy, because Nitro's coming, man. We got it coming, too. Here, one more time, Scratch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take that sound effects button away from you.
One more time.
I like it though. Makes me want to look over my shoulder. I feel like I might get run over.
Can you imagine, man? I cannot imagine jumping from 0 to 300 miles an hour in less than 4 seconds.
No.
I mean, God. I mean, that's something else. Great guess, Tony. Michael McDowell. What a good guess, huh?
How awesome was that, man? I'm stoked. Now I'm a bigger fan. You know, like I said, man, I'm a fan of NASCAR. I like these days. I like to root on underdogs or teams that you don't expect is going to do something. And he's had a great career, to be honest with you. That longevity means a lot in NASCAR. That's why I brought that up. And man, I want that guy to win every race this season. You know what I mean? That's how cool I thought that was, man. He's awesome. His car, that car we talked about, the one that flipped, the 00, is in Dale Jr.'s car graveyard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I wonder if Michael knows that.
I don't know. I meant to ask him, but I figured he probably knows that. But yeah, it's in Dale Jr.'s car graveyard.
Okay. Next guest coming up is Vice President of Media Relations and Communications, Josh Hadgett from the NHRA. is going to join us in just about a little less than 9 minutes or so. Scratch, get ready for Around the Track, and I'll let everybody know where we're going out on live. We're going to be coming up at the Bull Ring this weekend, Saturday night. We'll be out there at about 6 o'clock doing pit road interviews, doing winner's circle interviews. So we'll be out there then. April 10th, we're at the NHRA Press Luncheon. We'll be doing that. Some great drivers. That Ron Capps is going to be there, buddy. And I'm going to get a chance to ask him about that car blowing up, man. I mean, that thing blew the body completely off of it, and he walked away from that crash. So we're going to talk to Ron Capps and a couple of the great people that are going to be there. Let me see. Then we're going to be we've taken actually Costa Mesa off of the schedule for this time. We're going to be going to City of Industry a little bit later in the year, but then we'll be back out to the Speedway on April 13th for the NHRA 4 Wides. That's your last round of qualifying and quarterfinal rounds, and then back at the Bull Ring May 3rd again on July 3rd. That's the night of fire, the night before the 4th of July, and then we'll cover the last race of the year, championship night at the Bull Ring is going to be October 18th. To let you know, NASCAR's back in town October 11th and 12th. The Xfinity Series will be running on Saturday the 11th. October 12th, the NASCAR Cup Series starts off the round of 8. And then finally, so far on the schedule, October 30th through November 2nd, we return back to the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, man. I mean, we are packed, locked, and loaded and ready to go. Real quickly, before I get to Scratch and Around the Track, race weather brought to you by Woods Family Sandwiches, 931 Pacifica, Suite 106 on the Las Vegas Henderson line right there. More information on catering, WFSandwiches.com. NASCAR for this weekend down in Darlington, cloudy and muggy all weekend long. 20% chance of rain throughout the weekend. Daytime highs are going to be a sticky upper 80s. possibly into the low 90s, dropping off into the mid 60s for a nighttime low. NHRA is off this week. They'll be back here in Las Vegas next week. The World of Outlaws looks like it's going to be a wet weekend in Oklahoma for the World of Outlaws. 50% chance of rain on Friday and Saturday night. Daytime highs in the low 60s, dropping off into the mid 40s in the nighttime. Let's see. The World of Outlaws super late models are in Ohio at Atomic Speedway. It's got 70% chance of rain both Friday and Saturday night, so that doubleheader might get washed out and have to reschedule. And let's see, for the F1, they're back in action. Suzuka Circuit in Japan. And, man, the F1 series, you're looking for really good weather on Friday and Saturday, but you better roll out the rain tires for Sunday. Scratch, 65% chance of rain with the daytime highs in the mid-60s, dropping off low 40s. And for IndyCar, they're off this weekend, but they're back in action April 13th at Long Beach. And racing weather brought to you by our good friends at Woods Family Sandwiches. Scratch, how about round the track, buddy?
How about it? Monster Energy Supercross number 11 is April 5th at Foxborough, Mass. at Gillette Stadium, the house that Brady built. Look at that. The Progressive Flat Track Series Saturday, April 26th at Ventura Short Track in Ventura, California. Speedway East Coast Champion Speedway, May 3rd, Spring Classic. Action Park East, May 24th, Outlaw Nationals, Round 1. West Coast, Costa Mesa, 55th year. It starts April 12th. Paris Raceway, April 20th is the opener. Fast Fridays in Auburn starts May 19th. Formula One, April 4th through 6th, Japanese GP. IndyCar, April 13th, Acura Grand Prix in the streets of Long Beach, California. Man, I love Long Beach. NHRA is 4 Wide Nationals. They're April 11th through the 13th at the Strip in the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. NOS Energy Series, April 4th, Arrowhead Speedway. NOS Energy Series also April 5th at the Arrowhead Speedway. NOS Outlaw Late Model Series, April 4th and 5th at Atomic Speedway. And NASCAR is back in action with the ARCA West, April 5th, Tucson Speedway. ARCA East, April 19th, Rockingham, North Carolina. The trucks next Friday, April 11th, Weather Guard Truck Race. And Xfinity is Saturday, April 5th. Short Clips, Haircuts, VFW, Help a Hero 200 at Darlington Raceway. Sunday, April 6th, Goodyear 400 at Darlington Raceway. It is a throwback weekend out in Darlington, and that is a look at Around the Track.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. We'll go ahead and move it on. We're waiting on Josh Hatchett to join us. We'll go right to the NASCAR news and results. I'll get you started. It's brought to you by our good friends at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Up next, NHRA 4 Wide Nationals, April 11th through the 14th. Round of 8 of NASCAR returns back for the South Point 400 in October. Real quickly on the trucks, it was Corey Helm with a time of 19.654 seconds around that track. That's 96.347 miles an hour. But Daniel Hemrick won his first career NASCAR Craftsman truck race at the Martinsville Speedway this past Friday. Hemrick held off with 4 laps to go to catch that grandfather clock right there, man. He got the big one, man. They're giving the grandfather clocks out for everybody now, Scratch, not just the Cup guys. If you win in a truck, you get a grandfather. If you win in Xfinity, you get a grandfather. Those things are beautiful, man. He also grabbed an additional $50,000 for winning the first Triple Truck Challenge. Tyler Acom, Jake Garcia, Chandler Smith, Ben Rhodes, Corey Helm, Andre Perez, Rajah Caruth, Stuart Friesen, and Lawless Allen rounding up your top 10. Real quickly, it's Corey Helm, Daniel Hemrick, Ty Majeski, Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen, Tyler Acom, Grant Enfinger, Lane Riggs, Jake Garcia, Ben Rhodes in the top 10 right there. Tell us about the Xfinity Series, my friend.
All right. The Xfinity Series. The pole was Connor Zilich. His time was 19.888 miles per hour. Or that was his time. The speed was 95.213 miles per hour. Goodness gracious. The race. The paperclip wasn't very nice in the Xfinity Series race at Martinsville, as we spoke earlier. The RCR21 Austin Hill moved his Chevy all around the crashes. He snuck through the final set of corners to pick it up in his second win of the season and his first victory on the short track in the Xfinity Series. Sammy Smith charged into turn 3 on the final lap, turning Taylor Gray for the race lead. Smith then traded paint with Justin Allgaier, but Hill surged ahead for the victory. Sheldon Creed, Allgaier, took the checkered flag in the third. Brendan Poole, Sam Mayer rounding out the top 5. Dean Thompson, Daniel Dye, Ryan Sieg, Chris Wright, and Smith completing the top 10. Daniel Dye being a local favorite from right here. Xfinity Series playoff standings after Martinsville, which is race 7 of 33. You got Austin Hill with 2 wins. He's leading the way. Justin Allgaier with 2 wins. He is in second. Jesse Love, he's got a win. He's in third. Connor Zilich has a win. He is in fourth, followed by Sam Mayer is fifth. Sheldon Creed, Sammy Smith, Ryan Sieg, Carson Guapel, Jeb Burton, the top 10. Daniel Dye right there in 11th. Taylor Gray, and then cut below the end is Brandon Jones and Harrison Burton.
There you go. All right, real quickly, Christopher Bell won the pole for Martinsville, but it was Denny Hamlin taking his home track win for the Cookout 400 NASCAR Cup Series in Martinsville past week. First win of the year, 6th at Martinsville, 55th career. Pole sitter Christopher Bell finished up in second. Then it was Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Josh Chastain, Ryan Priest, Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, and Todd Gillen. Standing on top of the points right now. Bell up on top with 3 wins, 224 points. Then you got William Byron. Then it's Larson, Denny Hamlin, Josh Berry with a big win for the Wood brothers, man. I'm loving that. And then Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, and Joey Logano round out your top 10. Scratch, our next guest is standing by on the line. We're going to take a quick break, and when we do, we're going to talk to the guy that handles all the media and the communications for the NHRA Mission Food Series. Mr. Joshua Hatchett stands by, and we're going to do him right after this. Everybody stick by on Pit Road Racing. Alan in Las Vegas, Scratch down in Daytona. Back right after this.
Ever wonder what happens when nitro meets fire? It's lightning in a bottle. Thunder rolls in your chest, multiplied by 4 times the power of 11,000 horsepower down the strip. It's an experience like no other. See for yourself April 11th through 13th at the 4-Wide NHRA Nationals at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where every ticket is a pit pass and kids under 12 and parking is free with general admission. The 4-Wide NHRA Nationals, April 11th through 13th.
Yes, indeed. You ready?
We lost Al, it looks like.
Oh no, too much speed, too much power.
That's what it is. Maybe that's him taking off in the background. How you doing, Josh?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I don't know what happened to Alan Michaels. He's there somewhere though.
Oh, there we go.
There he is. I mean, I was going to say, I know what his first question was going to be, so I was about to ask it, but I know he's got a nice intro for you, so we'll let him take over now that he's raced.
You know what? This is the guy, and I know he knows, and we're sad to lose Jeff Motley. I know you heard about that, right, Josh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the guy that, this is the guy that has to hear what Jeff Motley had to say. Josh, I need. Okay, that's it. Yep. He is the director of communications for the NHRA Mission Food Series. Mr. Josh Hatchett joins us here live. NHRA is rocking and rolling. They're the fastest cars on the earth. Tell us all about it, Josh. What's going on? 4-Wide coming up, buddy.
Yeah, well, there's fast and there's 4-Wide fast and crazy. There's nothing like 4-Wide drag racing. Excited to get to Vegas next weekend for that. You know, you think of 330 miles an hour, 12,000 horsepower, and now you multiply it by 4. You get to see it 3 times a year, both races in Charlotte, and then here in Vegas. Vegas is the first one of the year, and introduced here, half dozen years ago in Vegas, and really there's no bigger spectacle in motorsports than 4 of these nitro machines going down the track at the same time. It's unbelievable. It's sensory overload times 2. From a traditional race. It's just unbelievable. It's just one of those things you have to see it and feel it to believe it for sure.
Are you going to have, Scratch, you know what they do? And I think he still does it. When they roll the nitros out, man, they've got like this rolling grandstand that they roll out at about 50, 75 feet away from the line. And there's a couple of dozen people get to sit up in this thing. But I mean, you are so close, man, that it will shake your body like you. Are we still rolling? The fan experience with that?
Yeah. It's like a SCAG mobile kind of unit there that they get like they are right up on it. That's for sure. And then we bring a lot of VIP guests and people out to kind of get right there beside the beside the starting line so they can kind of feel it in their bones. But even if you're sitting all the way up there, you're going to feel it in your chest, no matter where you're at the strip, for sure.
Scratch, you got a question for him?
I don't know why, because I love everything that goes fast. I have never been to an NHRA event, which I wish I regret that. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we got to get you out of here.
Yeah, I assure you, I regret it. But I watched all of it this past weekend, man, and it is a great show, and it's definitely something I'd like to get a little more experience in, as far as, you know, learning about it and enjoying it. Because like I said, I like everything that goes fast. Like you said, that 4 wide, that's a hell of a difference between two.
Yeah.
And correct my ignorance, but you guys run two. Doesn't Charlotte have a 4 wide? Am I wrong about that?
Yep, Charlotte also has a 4 wide.
Those are the only two?
Yep, the only two tracks like that. And we'll be in Charlotte 2 weeks after Vegas. So we'll have like a little 4 wide mini season here in April, and then go back to traditional.
It's pretty wild that you guys, Sean, are going, or Josh, that you guys are going back to back here. Joining us right now, he's the director of communications and media for the NHRA Mission Foods Racing Circuit. They're coming here, 4 wide racing coming up next weekend here. You can get tickets right now. If you want to get in on this, just log on to nhra.com or lvms.com. Either which way, you're going to get swung right there to get the tickets. Sean, let's go over, or Josh, let's go over a couple quick things here. Top Fuel right now: Sean Langdon, Doug Coletta, Antron Brown, Brittany Force, and my goodness gracious, the smoke, Tony Stewart. Top 5, man. Tell us all about that, man. He's a rock machine, buddy.
Yeah, he's a win waiting to happen for sure. He went to the final round in Pomona. He's always done well at the 4 wide events. Last year he went to the final quad last year in Vegas. So, Smoke's got a victory coming soon, no doubt about it. Langdon and Coletta, that whole Coletta team struggled for a couple of years, but they're back better than ever. Doug won 2 years ago, the championship. Sean right on the cusp of it last year, and he's been loaded this year. Antron, great finish last year to finish off the championship, his 4th title. He's always awesome, always running well at Vegas and the 4 wide too. He kind of thrives in this kind of chaotic setting. And then Brittany seems to be on the rebound as well. Last time we were in Vegas, it was the first time back for John after his crash in Virginia. She wins the race. It was just kind of a storybook ending for that event. And that team, they struggled for almost 2 years. So, they're kind of back in business. She's running really well. So, I mean, this top 5 is just loaded. And then you got a whole bunch of others. Clay Milliken won in Pomona. Just a ton of great talent in that Top Fuel class for sure.
Nitro burning in a funny car fast. Jack Bettman up on top. Paul Lee, Matt Hagan, Chad Green, Austin Prock, Ron Capps, Daniel Wilkerson, and Bob Taskus the third, along with Cruz Pedregon. And if I slide it down, Alexis Tejoria right there, man. Now, let me ask you this. I've seen the thing. Yeah. John Force is completely done with racing after this year. Am I right, Josh?
You are correct. Yes, he is not racing. He is at every race. He's been at every race this year. The plan is for him to be at every race, but Jack Beckman is driving his car. He was named the driver for the full season. He won in Pomona. That car's leading the points. So, I mean, that car is flying right now. John crashed and Jack stepped in later that year, and that thing hasn't skipped a beat. He won twice late last year, already won this year. That car is just flying, and it's a cool feeling. Jack's win in Pomona was JFR, John Force Racing's 300th funny car win. So special moment for them at their home track. John got to celebrate it, and he's doing great. He's enjoying himself. Obviously he would love to be behind the wheel. That's not going to be the case for right now, but he's in there taking it all in, watching his daughter, watching his team just crush it right now.
Do you think there'll be a chance he ever will, or this is it? He's done. I mean,
I don't know. It's way too hard to tell. You can't tell John he can't do anything. That's for sure. He's gonna fight and claw and try to get back out there. So we'll just have to see. That's the tough thing about an injury like that is you can't really see anything from the outside, but you never know. So he's going to be a supporter of NHRA. He's going to be out there no matter what, whether he's team owner, NHRA ambassador, driver, whatever. He's going to be out there supporting the whole deal. So fans will always get to see John Force for sure.
You can't have a better person than a 16-time world champ. Let's move over
You
to
got
Pro
it.
Stock real quick. Greg
Mhm.
Anderson, Dallas Glenn, Corey Reed, Matt Hartford, Jake Coughlin Jr., which we've got coming on this show next week. Derek Kramer, Eric Latino, Aaron Stansfield, Mason McKay, Troy Kaufman Jr. My big question: what has happened to Erica Enders?
Well, yeah, you didn't even get to her. She's 12th in points right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge struggle for her. She hasn't won a round yet this year, which has been crazy. But if things get going, Vegas is the place to be. She's won 10 times in Vegas, more than any other driver in NHRA history. So that would be the place for her to do it. So far, it's just been Greg Anderson and Dallas Glenn. They've been to all 3 final rounds this year. They were at the final round at the last race last year. So no one else other than them has been to a final round since October of last year. So it's been pretty crazy. Greg's just been crushing it. Set the national record in Gainesville, set a track record in Pomona. I mean, that car is just flying right now.
It is. It certainly is. Hey, that's too, man. Does Matt and Angie Smith have anything for Gage Herrera? Is this going to be a walk away on Pro Stock Motorcycle this year?
I think they will. I think they'll have something for him. They started too late last year. That bike was every bit as quick as Gage, if not quicker, by the time the year ended. So I think there'll be something there for him. Gage was just dominant. Won 11 races in a row, which is just unheard of. So we'll see. But
I mean, that bike was just super fast. I mean, if you sort of look at it and go over to F1, I mean, with Max V doing what he did, I mean, it's sort of a type of thing. I mean, every week, people were thinking, well, will Gage's bike blow up? Will he not make the race? Did he miss a plane? Same way with Max V. Is he going to show something? Will something happen along that way? Scratch, you got a question for the man?
I was just thinking back to the Tony Stewart thing for a minute. Yeah, I agree that he's doing great. Like I said, I watched the whole event this past weekend. I thought he might get the win this past weekend. But are the NHRA people, or were they at first maybe surprised that Smoke came in there and it was pretty good right off the bat?
No, I think everyone kind of knew that he was going to be good. Just his natural ability, he can jump in anything and be good at it within seconds. It's just we did like a media thing with him where we did go-karts, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good at go-karts, and he just laugh at me like how's he doing this? It was crazy, but no, he's just got a natural instinct. It's always going to take time to get used to going 330 miles an hour. You got to get what they call in front of the car, where it's not like you're not reacting. It's all kind of instinct of how you're controlling it. But he's very good off the starting line. So it's been very good. Like it's been a cool deal. And the thing is, like, all the racers respect him, but he's been like he's just kind of fit right in with this whole thing we have here at NHRA. He loves the racing. He loves the teams. He gets along well with the drivers. And the fans just love him. I mean, you guys know that from any form of racing, but just seeing how they've kind of accepted him on the drag racing side has been very cool to see. And yeah, he's definitely going to win one here soon, if not more.
I agree. So, I agree.
I think it's coming next weekend. I think he's going to win it.
Okay. Well, he did. He won in the alcohol ranks. That was his first victory. Was there a couple years ago. So yeah,
I do. I interviewed you, Scratch. I interviewed him, and we've had Matt Hagan on the show a couple of times, and we actually got to sit down with Tony last year with Matt. And the question I asked Tony, I said, how is the feeling now with you and your racing compared to what it was in IndyCar, then obviously NASCAR and everything else? And he said, he turned around, he looked at me, he said, Alan, I've never been the happiest that I've ever been in my life. He goes, I'm happy that I'm married. Now, little Dominic wasn't here yet. He wasn't here yet, but I could see that now has fallen into the line. But he said, the sponsorship thing we still have to do. We got to make the money. We got to bring the money in to put the car on the track. I got that. But he goes, I feel much more relaxed here. I feel like when I come to the racetrack, it's fun. And he made that point 3 times. He said, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. You have got to work with Tony. Did you ever get a chance to work with him on the other side before he got to NHRA?
No, I didn't, but you hear the stories and this and that, but like, he's been like, for me in my role, like as a PR person, he's been a delight, like a dream come true. Like he's been so cool to work with. He's willing to do, whatever we ask of him. He knows his name, he knows his value and what it brings to the sport. And he's been more than grateful to kind of share that with us and allow us to kind of make the most of it. And you can definitely tell he's happy. No one likes to lose. He had last season was a struggle and on track, he wished things had gone better, but you can just see like he's just kind of loving life. He's in a great place. And that's changed even more so since, his son was born. You can just kind of see the look on his face, like as his son's out there watching him race. It's a pretty cool and neat feeling. And that's a lot of what makes this sport special. Any motorsport really is you have, sons and daughters out there with their families watching their dads and their moms race and whatever. And you just kind of see it, see these kids grow up at the track and next thing you know, they're racing too. And it just kind of keeps going on. It's a very cool thing.
That's how I grew up. Yeah, that's how I grew up. I grew up, 6 years old at Volusia County Speedway. There you go. My stepdad out there racing. That's why, it's funny because, the first Daytona 500 I ever went to was 1979, and everybody's like, well, yeah. I'm like, man, I was 7 or 8 or whatever, So, but yeah, that's how I grew up, going to the track. And now, I race, just enduro cars, full contact racing, like Tour Destruction, basically. But it's just fun, it's just fun. But I wouldn't even be doing that if I didn't grow up that way,
Right.
So,
Josh, he races junk, man.
That's what I race junk. Look,
hey, racing's
look over my
racing, right?
shoulder. Look over my shoulder right there. That's the junk I race.
I love it. You got to get you out to NHRA race though.
Hey, man, I would love to.
Well, yeah, I'm going to work out something here. Mr. Hatch is going to be in town next weekend, and I think I think next year we're going to apply for some hard cards, and I think we're going to make some road trips next year. Road trips there.
Love it.
Hey, road trips.
There's one thing I got, Tony, that Gene Woods, I don't know if you know Gene, he was a 3-time U.S. Speedway champion, owns this network here. In fact, 2 things. If you guys are in town, you had Tony racing go-karts. I got a go-kart track down here that will definitely
I did hear that. Yes.
Yes, there it is, the Gene Woods Racing Experience. And you guys are invited to come down Wednesday or Thursday after lunch. We'll be at the press luncheon. If you want to bring some group of guys down here, we'll shut the track down. Now, Josh, this is not a speed track. This is a 12,000 square foot indoor sliding drift track.
Oh man, I'm gonna be out of my
league. And of course, Alan's gonna say it's not a speed track because I beat him at it.
Yeah, you know what he did, Josh? He played last weekend's Xfinity race at Martinsville with me. That's what he did.
Hey, man, Robin's racing. He was in the way. He was in the spot I wanted.
Well, I'm going to see if I can't squeeze us all in here because you know what? Shane's on. You want to stay on with Shane's with us? Do you want to say what?
Sean Reed's coming on. Yeah,
he's right there. Let me see if I got. There we go. All of you are in the picture. There he is. My goodness gracious.
We've never done this, I don't think.
What's up?
We got them all now. Shane Reed's joining us. He's running in the NHRA Mission Foods Top Fuel, man. And I was trying to get some bio on you, man. And I guess you are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-time Lucas Oil Speedboat champion, man.
Yeah, well, combined with the Columbia Drag Boat and IHBA and Lucas Oil, but yeah, I won about 8 championships over there from 2005 to 2018.
When did you get started with the NHRA, sir?
2014, man. I just got my 3rd or 4th midlife crisis and went and got my license and it took off from there.
4 wides coming up, man. Are you coming to? You're coming to Vegas, right?
Oh yeah, I'm in Seattle working right now. I got my businesses up here, so I'm in Seattle here now. But yeah, I'm heading there next Wednesday, and yeah, we're getting excited about that. We've had a couple of miscues the last couple of weeks, couple of outings, and yeah, we gotta redeem ourselves and get back on track.
We always ask that Josh is standing by a PR guide. I guess, Josh, we never did ask you, how did you get involved in motorsports? And Shane or Sean, as soon as he's done, how did you get involved in motorsports?
Well, mine was a different story. I know nothing about the sport, and I was first job out of college. I was working with a newspaper, and they told me to go cover the races at the drag strip, and I had no idea what was going on. And I'm just some young dumb kid going out there, and my first interview was with Larry Dixon, and I'm like, and but honestly, I just kind of enjoyed the meeting all the people, all the different stories and everything. It was such a cool deal, and just kind of just grew from there. Being able to stay in touch with people from NHRA, so it was good.
Sean, how about you? How did you get started? What got you into motorsports, buddy?
Well, I lived about 6 or 7 houses away from a guy that drove a AA fuel funny car back in the 70s, and I remember I was probably like 10 or 11 years old, maybe 12, and I heard him fire this thing up, man. I was always hanging around in my dad's garage, asking him way too many questions, and made him just drove him crazy. But I just was kind of a wrench kid, and just wanted to know how to do everything. What's that for? How's that go? And I heard this thing fire up, and I'm like, holy smokes, man. I looked around back, and I'm like, well, it's not there. And I said, well, I'm walking to where this noise is. And boy, by the time I got there, of course, he was shut off. But I went in there, the thing was smoking, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And man, next thing you know, he had a daughter about the same age as me, and I think that was about my first girlfriend. And then from there, I used to sneak in. He'd go racing in Spokane and Seattle and Medford, Oregon, and Portland, Oregon back then. And man, I just sneak in, and he just put me in the middle of a Goodyear slick, stack a couple on top of me, and the NHRA, they never found me, not once.
It's something else. Scratch, you got a question for either Josh or Sean?
Oh man, that just cracked me up. I not a question, but a statement more or less about what Sean said. I just started laughing because I could totally relate to that. I could just picture my stepdad right now just yelling at me because I was a pain in the ass. But I wanted to know all that stuff. I was trying to get dirty. I was greasy. I was running around with a hat on and a grease rag hanging out of my pocket. I'm 5, 6, 7 years old. Just driving him up a wall, man. But that's how much I loved it then.
Oh man, it's
hilarious.
It was pretty cool, man. It just kind of stuck. I mean, it doesn't, I just never could really afford to race anything until I got into my 30s, and got my business going and stuff. But boy, I'd race anybody on a bar stool for $20,
Heck yeah, man.
$20 and a 6-pack of beer, man. Down the alley we go, man. Josh, have you ever thought about getting into a car? Have you ever done an experience or anything like that?
Yeah, we do. We'll do some stuff with like media. We'll bring out some chargers and stuff like that where we'll let them kind of race, and I'll hop in every so often. But yeah, I'll leave that to the professionals.
No nitro for you, right, man?
No.
Next time
I'll let Sean enjoy all that. That's
I don't know, man. I mean, everybody asks me like, what's that ride like? I'm like, my first thing is I don't know. I can't recall. My eyes are closed most of the way, so but all fun aside, man. I mean, it's definitely a kick to drive, but it's it's amazing. It's amazing what you can recite in a 3.7 second run. I mean, I could probably make a minute and a half story out of that 3.75 second run, sometimes, when everything goes good, it's just like driving a Cadillac, but not very often does it go good.
Let me ask you this, and Scratch, I think you'll like this one. Tell us what it's like when you roll. Okay, the car rolls out, the team pushes out, they burn the tires up, you roll you back, they scrape the tires clean, you're sitting there, you go into the light number 1 stage, light number 2 stage. From that point on, what does you and your body and your mind go through when you pull the trigger on this thing?
Well, I'll tell you what, as soon as you pre-stage, you are, less than a half a second away from stabbing the gas on this thing. And your only thought process is, basically, I'm going to tell you what my crew chief, and everybody tells you got to do. Your driver's got to do 4 things, man. He's got to stab the gas on time, hold it in the groove, pull the parachutes, and find more money. That's it.
There you go.
That last one probably should have been number 1.
Yeah, that's it. I was going to say, Josh, we saw the big wreck in the blow up with Ron Capps. He's coming to the media, man. How's Ron doing, man? I couldn't believe that he walked away. Walked away from this thing. How's he doing?
He's doing well. That's a tribute to kind of all the safety measures, that they've got in place, both as a team, as NHRA. He's doing great. That team recovered. They were provisional number 1 in Pomona. They got bumped by Proc, but or actually by Beckman. No, it was Austin. But regardless, he ran well in Pomona. So just a remarkable job. You know, the teams out here, and Sean can attest to this, the teams that put these cars together, tear these cars down, you know, they're just incredible, like how they all work together. And especially in situations like that where, you know, even an engine blow up or something, these guys are just locked in on whatever they need to do.
Sean,
it takes them all. It takes them all. It takes an army, man. I mean, if one of the guys, you know, left head guy, right head guy, bottom end guy, blower guy, clutch guy, tire guy, if one of them guys makes a small mistake, that car will not go down the track, or at least it won't go down the track properly. So it is amazing. It is amazing to watch the guys work, and you know it's really crazy to me to really the drivers get, you know, when the drivers win, they talk about the drivers, and you know we really just have the guts to stab the gas. You know, that's really what it is, and there in NHRA. As long as you have the guts to stab the gas, you know, it really, there's really more on the crew than it is the driver. Like I said, we got to stab the gas, pull the parachute, hold it in the groove, and pull the parachutes. That's really what we got to do. And yeah, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, but sometimes the drivers get too much credit. I'll tell you. I mean, I really think most of the credit should go to the crew chiefs. And I mean, Rob Winnan goes in the trailer. He don't even ever come out except to go to the starting line. I mean, he's always looking at clutch and flows and pressures and RPM and stuff. And I'll tell you, man, these crew guys don't get enough credit. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely do. 4 Wide's coming to Las Vegas next weekend. Tickets are available at the NHRA.com and at LVMS.com. All the stars will be here. Antron, Sean's going to be here. Josh will be zipping around the pits on his scooter from here to there and everywhere else. But, I mean, you're going to see them all. And, you know, this is the coolest thing, Scratch. This is what separates the NHRA from any motorsport. Your general ticket gets you into the pits there. You don't have to have special permission. You don't have to have this. You don't have to have that and all credentialed up. You can walk around freely in the pits while they're working on the cars. I mean, and we took Josh, we took Gene's grandkids down last year because they wanted to know what nitro was. So we took them down. We took them down to, actually, I think we were at Brittany Force's pit. And they fired that monster machine up, man, and they lasted about 2 seconds. And Gene looked over and said, "How'd you like that nitro, man? How'd you like that nitro? You're going to smell it, you're going to feel it, and you're going to see it at the Strip, Las Vegas Motor Speedway." Gentlemen, Josh, I'll give you your minute, your final comments to anybody out there.
Well, I'm just excited to get to Vegas and watch it all go down. I love 4Wide's such a different animal, and it's just cool watching it all take place. I love Vegas, just a cool area to have a track like this. And you got the Air Force Base right there. You got fighter jets flying over all day Friday as these cars are flying down the track. It's such a cool scene, and I just love being out there.
And Sean, final comment. Before I do let you go, I want you to give a shout out to your team, your sponsors, crew members, and where people and fans and race fans, you can find you on social media, my friend.
Oh yeah, man. You know, Rob Winnan, Ryan, Tuna, Gabe, Josh, David, Davey, man, all these guys do such a great job, man. I really couldn't even imagine doing it with anybody else. I mean, this car's gonna wake up and it's gonna start running like it did towards the end of last year, and I hope that's in Vegas. But Redline Oil, they've been with me the whole time. We got Atro on board now. Big truck part bushing company out of St. Louis, Missouri. Of course. Star Racer Belts, that's Rob Winnan's company. And, we're always looking for more, man. Anybody wants to jump on, and we got all the parts and pieces just like everybody else. We just need, always looking for more partners, so we can keep running. It gets tough out there. So, anything we can do, that'd be great.
And finally, I'll leave this with you, Sean, and Josh, you both can step in. We have a lot of young viewers that watch this show, both that run, go-karts, quarter midgets, modifieds. They run some drag car stuff too. The local series is here that they have. words of encouragement. Josh, I will start with you. Somebody wanting to get into drag racing, some words of encouragement about how to get in this sport.
Yeah, I think just being around it, just being present, meeting with as many people as you can. Whether your path is driving, whether it's crew, whether it's PR, whether it's market, whatever. There's so many different avenues in this sport to get involved. I think it's just kind of putting yourself out there, get out to the track, shake as many hands as you can, meet as many people as you can. There's so many good people in our sport. I think it's just a really cool world to be a part of, in my opinion.
Sean, how about you as a driver coming up, young ladies and gentlemen that are coming up through the ranks, a little bit of word of encouragement for them?
Oh man, I mean, I think women can drive just as good as the men, and they might even be able to drive better. To tell you the truth, they're the women in this sport right now. I mean, from Brittany to Jasmine to Ida, holy smokes, man! I mean, besides being great to look at, man, they can drive race cars. I'm telling you, but holy smokes! And forget.
Oh, we lost him. We lost him. He clicked out. Oh, my goodness gracious. I didn't touch nothing. I swear to God. We're wrapping up towards the top of the hour, man. Sean, Josh, give him, if you can, give him. There he is. Wait a second. I think he's coming back here. Well, let's see.
Good deal.
I think he's coming back. Are you there? He is. Are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go. Somehow we clicked out. Anyhow, go ahead. Final words and comments, uplifting for the young racers. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we were talking about the girls. I mean, they're just way too pretty and they're way too good, man. I don't even like racing them. But all the young guys. I mean, I'm really a young guy. I'm an old young guy. I'm an old guy that's just beginning in this sport, and it's just a great sport. I think it's great what the NHRA does, and all the classes they got where people can move up through the classes, move up through the ranks. And I'm excited to see where the NHRA can go. They're bringing in a lot of new things and TV deals and a lot of things to kind of help the racers out. And I think it's going to get back on the right track. And not that I was ever on the wrong track, but COVID didn't help anything or anybody or anyone. So hopefully we're beyond that, and we can get the fans back in the stands. And if you're not in the stands, get on that NHRA.tv and get on that thing, because I'll tell you what, I've got about 20 or 30 people on that thing for $150, $160 a month. You can see everything live, back it up, watch it again. But when the races come to your hometown, man, come on out and support the NHRA, man, because that's what we do it for. We're glorified entertainers. We're here for the fans.
They certainly are. It is a one hell of a damn good show. Like I said, your ticket will get you down in the pitch. You can stop by and see Sean down there. You can see all the stars of the NHRA. They always, what is so cool too, Scratch, they'll be working on stuff, and they'll see a crowd, and all of a sudden they'll just pick up a couple of Sharpies. They'll turn around, they'll zip out 100 autographs, take them, 20, 30 pictures, and then it's back to what they got to do. But they really do spend a lot of good time with the fans. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on our satellite show today, Mr. Josh Hatchett. He is the media and communications director for the NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series, and also in a Top Fuel machine. He'll be back out here next week, Mr. Sean Reed. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining the program. Josh, I'll see you next Thursday at the lunch. I won't let out where we're going to, because I don't want a crowd coming down there. You know what I mean? But we're going to have a nice, good lunch out there, talk to you about a couple things. Sean, I'm going to make my way when I get out to the track out on Saturday. I'm going to make my way over, shake your hand, and
absolutely
be in there. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, the 2021 Rookie of the Year, Pro Super Late Model NASCAR driver Johnny Spilatro will join us coming up next. My special thanks to Josh Hatchett, Sean Reed. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. We'll see you all next week here in Las Vegas.
Thank you.
Hey, man.
Thanks, guys.
Ever wonder what happens when nitro meets fire? It's lightning in a bottle. Thunder rolls in your chest, multiplied by 4 times the power of 11,000 horsepower down the strip. It's an experience like no other. See for yourself April 11th through 13th at the 4 Wide NHRA Nationals at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where every ticket is a pit pass and kids under 12 and parking is free with general admission. The 4 Wide NHRA Nationals, April 11th through 13th. Ever wonder what happens when nitro meets fire? It's lightning in a bottle. It's where thunder rolls in your chest and ambition meets asphalt. Where some dreams are made and others go up in smoke. It's an experience like no other. See for yourself April 25th through 27th at the NHRA 4-Wide Nationals at C-Max Dragway, where drivers go head-to-head in 4-wide competition and where every ticket is a pit pass. The NHRA 4-Wide Nationals, April 25th through 27th.
Welcome to my world. Handicap man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, "Hey, you want some shoes?" I said, "Yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well." And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. Now, I'm not we, but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone.
Ever wonder what happens when nitro meets fire? It's lightning in a bottle. Thunder rolls in your chest, multiplied by 4 times the power of 11,000 horsepower down the strip. It's an experience like no other. See for yourself April 11th through 13th at the 4-Wide NHRA Nationals at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where every ticket is a pit pass and kids under 12 and parking is free with general admission. The 4-Wide NHRA Nationals, April 11th through 13th.
Hey, man, we are back. We're there somewhere, Alan Michaels. And I know we're heading back to the bull ring.
Right. Nothing like big tires and big horsepower. Scratch, I think you can agree.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then the world shut down.
Right.
And then we went to the Pro Late model division, which was like the smaller tire and the smaller motor, which kind of put which kind of allowed us to kind of figure things out and just kind of like re-engineer everything, change my driving style and change how we engineered the car and stuff. And it's been like an ongoing process, but here we are in 2025. We're chasing down a championship. We're 4 points behind, and it's going to continue on this weekend.
You got it. We will be back at the bull ring this weekend. Gates open up at 4 p.m. Racing starts about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And, man, it's Scratch. You've been out there, buddy, 3/8 of a mile with about an 8-degree banking and hard old concrete on that thing, man.
Yeah, man. It seems like, because I mean, I run enduro cars, so I do like full contact racing now. But most of the tracks I run on are 3/8 mile, and it seems like those 3/8 miles, man, they all have old asphalt on them. It seems like to me, I don't know, but
yeah,
that's awesome.
You really aren't going to be able to tell until you like see up close in like the autograph sessions. You could kind of like see the scenes, especially like off of 2 and like the backstretch. They do a really good job, kind of like resurfacing it every year, making like new. But until you see it and until you drive on the racetrack, the character really shows. And if you can run well there, you can run well, pretty much anywhere. So it really is a driver's track that really challenges you.
Special guest Johnny Spilatro drives for SG Racing, the number 77 Chevrolet, and he will be at the bull ring this weekend. Come on out and check it out. Tickets are available at lvms.com, or you can pick them up right at the gate. I think $10 to get in, man. Kids are under 8 or 9 free and all kinds of cool stuff, man.
Yeah, $10 at the gate. And kids 12 and under are free. It's also Hometown Heroes Night, so all first responders, police, fire and safety, law enforcement, they all get in for free with an ID. So that'll pack up the stands really well with our heroes.
For sure. Yeah,
reach over there and pull your mic cord so you don't pull your. Let me get it this way. I don't want you to hang yourself.
There you
go. You guys are making me want to come out there for that just to watch. I get excited. I get excited when we start talking about racing.
Take the next flight out to Daytona, man. I mean, I appreciate you staying late for us.
All right, so, hey, it's no big deal, man. I'll be up another 3-4 hours. I'm still on Vegas time and I haven't lived there in 7 years.
There you go, man. There you go.
Scratch, you got a question for Johnny?
Hey man, that is a beautiful hot rod you got right there. Vegas is definitely your home track. I mean, you were born and raised in Las Vegas, right?
Yep, yeah, born and raised. The only other track we've ran out of there is Havasu, but it's been a while since I've been out there. Wanted to check off Irwindale off my bucket list for a while, but unfortunately that shut down.
Yeah,
so
it's gone.
Which is unfortunate. But we still got Kern. We still got Madera and Tucson and all the other tracks. So once this year wraps up, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about exploring out into different tracks and venturing out into the West Coast racing world. Looking to try different things, road course, dirt, stuff like that. And maybe if funding goes well, maybe we could get some Cars Tour action there. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Cars action out there. Those things too. So they tuned the super late models down, smaller tires, smaller motor to the Pro. So what kind of horsepower are these things drawing now?
So these 602 crate engines, they're about 350 horsepower in contrast to the 600 and the 620 horsepower we used to have with like the Seal motors a little bit.
Yeah.
It was designed to kind of keep the cost of racing down. And the tires are a little bit of a game changer too. With the slick tire that we used to run, you would get like a race out of it. But if you play your cards right with the 970 tire, you could get 2 races out of it. So it kind of makes life a little bit easier on the racer's budget, if you will. So it makes it affordable, and the plan is to kind of increase the car count.
There you go. Scratch, another question for him.
Yeah, man. You said you started out in Bandoleros. Was that at the Bull Ring also?
It was, yeah. Kind of intimidating to, go from like a tiny little go-kart into a Bandolero on a 3/8 mile oval where it's just like Daytona and Talladega. You hold it flat out, wide open, and you're a tiny little spry guy, and you're asked to do a lot. But eventually you kind of get over those jitters. You kind of roll with it. In every division I've ran in, I've been lucky enough to be surrounded by the best of the best, not just within my team, but like also like in competition as well. And you kind of learn from it, and you kind of hone your craft, you kind of harden yourself, and then next thing you know, you're establishing yourself as a household name, and it's a beautiful thing.
Now you got a master's degree, you've got a bachelor's degree, you graduated from UNLV. So what you're doing now is racing the top goal?
Racing is, I really love racing late models with where I'm at right now.
Right.
As you mentioned, my master's degree, I am a strength and conditioning coach. Shout out to Fusion 5 Athletics for giving me a sweet opportunity to coach some young athletes in different types of sports. But that's kind of like my main career, just kind of flourishing in that, helping other individuals through weight training practices, developing speed and agility, with feet, of course, not necessarily with horsepower, it's
right.
Kind of horsepower. And really just kind of like applying it to like my racing regimen. I mean, I'm kind of living the dream already, if you will.
Okay.
We could go on and on about like, the national series, all day long, but long story short, the local racing is really where it's at for now. Yeah.
And there's been some great drivers that have come up out of Las Vegas. Everybody knows about the Busch brothers, and I mean, you've had them, Scott Gaffarini, your former teammate, and everything else, 8-time track champion out there. I mean, you look at it. Stan Mullis is out there. I mean, you look at that, and some guys that were really good at the Bull Ring. I sit back and think of Jay Beasley. And, Jay tried a development program. It just never really took off for him, but he could really drive. I mean, he was a great driver. I mean, you had a bunch of those, Dustin Ash, a bunch of those guys out there, man, that rocked that Bull Ring every weekend.
Yeah, and you mentioned the late great Spencer Clark. He had a rocket ship career trajectory before his passing. Dylan Kwasniewski, still to this day, hands down, is the best I've ever seen out here when it comes to car control and such. And we got to mention Noah and Riley, Ian, those guys as well. Brendan Gaughan is a staple here.
Can't forget the Trickles.
Can't forget at the Trickles either. And it's just adding my name to that list while carrying on, Scotty Ottie's legacy. And he's here with us at the shop every single day. I mean, we were just there last night, and it kind of feels like he never left. And even though we're not really owning his car, it still feels like he's with us, getting ready to go for this weekend.
Right. Yeah, great guy, man. Great guy, Scratch. I don't know if you ever had a chance to meet Scott Gaffarini, one of the nicest guys. But, he would always give you a minute, just like Johnny. We'd stop by the pits, and he'd sit down. I'll never forget, there was one night you were running, but he wasn't running that night. Something was wrong with his car, and he just couldn't get it fixed. And I stopped by, and he said, "Nope, I'm not running. Sit down, man. Let's eat a cheeseburger, drink a Mountain Dew, and talk a little racing." All right, and that's what we ended up doing because his car was out. So, but everybody's sort of gelling back together again. Everything's coming together for you guys.
I think we're on the trajectory of a really fantastic year. Last time we talked was right before the green flag dropped at the South Point 400.
Right.
And we had a good start then, and I'm really confident with like the trajectory of us now. I mean, like I mentioned before, we're second in points. We're knocking on the door of the points lead, which is right where we want to be. There's elite level competition ahead of us and behind us. I'm not gonna ignore the guys behind me like Cody, TJ, and RJ. They got really fast cars. But there's a really special bond with our team that I think goes unmatched with everybody else. Everybody does everything out of love, out of care, and the aligned mission of us, just wanting to go racing, wanting to carry on the legacy. And when we unloaded from testing, there was just something special when we not just with like how fast we ran, but like with how well our crew guys gelled. That includes my dad, that includes CJ Matos, that includes Casey Wade. Tony Jackson's been a very huge help as far as setup goes. And a lot of people, a lot of sponsors that were on board with it. Bravo Tickets, Polar Shades, Gene Wood, of course, 8 Lounge, Fusion 5 Athletics. Everything is just. It seems like it's coming together, and the only vindication that we have with it is that we go out there, we have fun, and best case scenario, bring home that title.
There we go. Got a couple of minutes with us. Our special guest wrapping up this Thursday edition of the show. Driver of the number 77 Chevrolet from SG Racing, Johnny Spilaccio, currently sitting in what second, third in points right now, just a couple back, right?
Second in points. We're just a little bit back in the pro late model division, but like I said, these guys, they're good, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep me. They're gonna keep me honest all year long. So there's gonna be ebbs and flows. And it's gonna be exciting. So in the next installment, come on out to the bull ring. Gates open at 5. Racing starts at around 6, 7 o'clock. I think I'm like the third to last main event of the night, and see how it all unfolds.
Scratch, one more question for him.
Yeah, sure, man. We were talking about the national series, and it's funny because you think about all these drivers that are from Las Vegas in the national series, but then at the same time, me being a race fan for a long time and growing up as a kid, you're not thinking of Las Vegas as that the breeding point for NASCAR drivers, but it does seem to be that way. It seems like a lot of drivers come out of Las Vegas. So I guess my question is it you, or is there somebody that you race with there at the bull ring that might be that next guy that might be that you think of that could be that next national driver from Las Vegas? Is there anybody you race with, or maybe you think it's yourself? Ain't nothing wrong with that either.
By a wing and a prayer, I'd like to think it's me still. I hope it's me.
Sir. Yes, sir.
But I'm also up there in age, and like I said, I really enjoy what I'm doing out here right now, racing at the local level and trying to make the most out of it. Supporting the local short track is really where it's at. I mean, you look at the Cars Tour East Series. I mean, they're going to be on FS1 during All-Star Weekend, and that's going to be a barn burner. I'm going to tune in for that. And like I mentioned, you never really know with short track racing. There could be the next Dale Jr. in Bandoleros right now. So I always got my eye out for that. Yeah. So
never know, man. You just never know. You know,
you don't.
You can see Johnny this weekend, man. Here in Las Vegas, it's at the Bull Ring, like you said. Gates open up at 5:00, and we'll get some practice and qualifying in and racing about 7:30. $10 tickets at the gate. 12 and under get in free with a paid general admission tickets. You can get them at the gate, or you can log on to lvms.com and get rocking and rolling. Of course, we'll have bull ring racing this weekend, and coming up next weekend, the NHRA is here. 4 wide racing, man. 11,000 horsepower times 4, 44,000 horsepower screaming down the strip, man. In fact, Johnny, you know what? I put this in here. I want you. I got.
I'm going to be there.
Okay. Well, here you go.
I'm going to be there.
Here you go, Johnny.
He likes his sound effects. Hold on.
Hold on a second. I got something for you here. Hold on, man.
Buckle up. He's got something.
I got something here for you, man. If I can actually find the darn thing anymore. I think I've lost it. Anyhow. Let me
While
see.
we were waiting for you, he played it like 8 times.
Yeah. You'd think you'd have it down by now.
Yeah,
Well, no,
yeah.
I
I'm surprised his finger wasn't resting on it when you got there.
Well, anyhow, there we go. Let me see if that's it right there. I guess not.
Should be.
No, that's not it. I think I.
Maybe turn up the background music.
No, it's on there. I don't know out there. Maybe I need to do that. That might be a good thing. Here, let's check this out.
Oh, there it is.
Sounds like me there last year.
4 wide, Matty. 4 wide. Horsepower, nitro, burning smoke, choking. One more time. There you go. All right.
Literally, when I filmed it off the launch pad the first time, I literally almost dropped my phone.
Yep.
That's how crazy it is. That is how intense it is, and you could literally feel like the earth quake from underneath you.
It's something else.
Wow.
Hey, before we let you go, shout out to all your sponsors, social media, where they can find you at. And let's do it.
Yep. You can follow me on my social media at JOHNNYSPILOTRO. That's Facebook, that's Twitter, that's Instagram. I keep it all the same. I know it's X, but we got to go with the bird. We got to go with that Tweety bird. Shout out to all my sponsors, Bravo Tickets, Polar Shade Sun Control, 8 Cigar Lounge, Gene Woods Racing Experience, Fusion 5 Athletics, all my guys over at SG Speed. This weekend's going to be for Scotty, for Nikki Herta, and for Scotty's dad Pops as well. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a really fun weekend, but a very emotional one. But you know how us racers are. We're gonna get through it.
That's it. You got it, man. Johnny Spilotro, our special guest, as we're heading back to the bull ring. We've got a series of shows that we're going to be out there. We'll be up in the tower. We're going to get some post-race comments from some of the winners. We'll do a quick pit walk in the early afternoon, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. Scratch, you're going to be racing. Are you racing this weekend, Scratch?
Not this weekend, man. Not this weekend. I'm building that Camry though for my enduro car. So April 19th, Tour of Destruction, April 19th at Orlando Speed World. That's when I'll be back in action.
You got it. Johnny Spilotro, our special guest right there. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, man.
You got it, my friend.
Pleasure.
Back with more Scratches down in Daytona Beach at the Nutcheck Studios. Alan Michaels here at the WCOBM in Las Vegas. We'll be back with more right after this, everybody.
Ever wonder what happens when nitro meets fire? It's lightning in a bottle. Thunder rolls in your chest, multiplied by 4 times the power of 11,000 horsepower down the strip. It's an experience like no other. See for yourself April 11th through 13th at the 4-Wide NHRA Nationals at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where every ticket is a pit pass and kids under 12 and parking is free with general admission. The 4-Wide NHRA Nationals, April 11th through 13th.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas. Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Looking at a ride?
Yes, indeed.
Hey, look how small we are over there. Hey, there we are. Hey, man, we got a hell of a show today, huh?
I'm telling you, man, Michael McDowell, man, you know, I got to meet Michael a couple of years ago, Scratch, and what they do here in Las Vegas at the media center, at the Locale IQ Media Center, they bring everybody up in two groups, and it's sort of like a free-for-all type of thing. So you only get, you know, maybe one question asked, and then you're tagging with everybody else. Okay, you know, you're miking up and you're tagging with everybody else. And we had him lined up when we were in Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but then he got pulled away, and he was sort of bummed because he stepped in the studio and he was just like, "Wow, this is pretty cool. You guys got the setup here, you know." And he goes, "Man, let me get through Las Vegas and get with JP and I'll do the show." So, but what a great guy, old school guy there, man. You know, not old school, but like you said, now he's becoming part of that senior class. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen, I'm not going to be disappointed seeing him in victory lane anytime he's in there. I'm going to let you know that. Nor have I been in the past.
I think he's got a shot this weekend. He had the pole out here. He had the pole out here in Las Vegas, man, and I think had a little bit of mechanical problem, whatever. But he had a good run out here. We're just going to junk by everything else, man. A couple of quick things. If you'll go to chat topics here, I just wanted to get your feeling. I'm going to read them off, and you let this go. Legacy Motor Club filed a lawsuit this past Tuesday against Rick Ware Racing as they two NASCAR Series teams clash over the purchase of a charter that had gone away. Now, according to what Jimmy Johnson had says, they're suing him. They're suing him for the back payment up on it. It's a $40 million deal. Rick Ware thinks that this deal wasn't supposed to start until the year 2007. I don't understand all that. If you signed
2027, yeah, that was the deal.
Right.
One thought it was supposed to be 2027, and one thought it was supposed to be 2026. And I mean, outside of any other details, that's about all there is. You know, that's where so there definitely is a difference. You know what I mean? There's a difference of an opinion on the way this was supposed to go, and that's what brought the lawsuit on, man. We'll just see how it goes, man. I mean, business is business. Sometimes you just, one person thinks one thing, one person thinks the other, and this is the only way to resolve it. So hopefully they get it resolved.
We'll let the judges figure it out. 75 years of the Lady in Black, and of course, Wood Brother Racing too, man. Josh Berry picking up a big win earlier in this year. He's locked in. Then this is the tough. She's the Lady in Black. She is tough to tame. She's like the monster, man. She'll eat you up real quick. But the most successful team down there, right, is the Wood Brothers, buddy. They have had the most success in Darling. What do you think, man?
Yeah, and a lot of that was with David Pearson. So they let's see, 8 wins across 3 drivers in 3 different decades. David Pearson, he got 4 of those wins, and then hey,
Jared
Neil Bonnet, Neil Bonnet. That's not a bad bunch of names. I mean, and Josh Berry's winning now. Hey, I'm a numbers guy, man. I'm a numbers guy. Numbers never lie. I mean,
I was rooting for him 2 years ago, Scratch. On the statement alone that Tony Stewart said that he grabbed this kid because, first of all, he wanted to work on the cars. He was a race car driver, and he didn't care about his daddy bringing a big fat wallet. So I'm glad to see him. Go ahead.
I told you after him filling in, those couple times too, and then getting that ride with Stuart Haas, and I thought he was going to do great things, which he didn't. But we maybe some of that behind the scenes, Stuart Haas closing down stuff could have maybe affected some of that, right there, because he's jumping in this Wood Brothers number 21 and tearing it up.
I'm telling you, kid can drive. Here, no, this just released yesterday. Sammy Smith, Doc, 50 driver points, fined $25,000 for causing the last lap of Crash Xfinity Series race in Martinsville. Jeb Burton, Taylor Bray were both fined $5,000 apiece. And then going into the in-care field center for that. Other penalties along, $5,000 fine to 00 Haas Factory Xfinity team, missing lug nuts. 71 team Craftsman truck got a fine, $2,500 missing lug nut. Trackhouse Racing Jackman tire changer Aslan Pooh and Kelly have been suspended for the next 2 NASCAR races as a result of the rear wheel falling off of Shane Van Gisbergen, number 88 Chevrolet, during the cycle of green pad stops.
They're not playing, buddy. When they don't want to play, they don't. You know what I mean? If they don't want to, when they're not playing, then they're not playing.
Yeah. Those, between the lug nuts and Shane Van Gisbergen, that's a lot of wheel problems there too. That's a lot of problems there. Can't leave a lug nut off in the Cup Series anymore.
Yeah, you leave one off, you're done, man. That's for sure.
You leave one off, you're leaving them all off.
Michael McDowell had his impressions on it. I noticed this. I did watch the Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin Happy Hour podcast, both of them. Also, Kenny Wallace's Coffee with Kenny. Told good stories on the old school. Did you watch that clip I sent you? If you haven't watched, you got to watch that thing, man. I'm telling you, it's really good because Kenny Wallace tells you exactly what would have happened back in the day. Of all this malarkey that happened last weekend in Martinsville, and he tells you exactly what would have happened if they'd have pulled this thing 15 years ago. He said these kids don't work on the cars anymore. All they want to do is drive them. They're not responsible for them. And of course, the big thing was the big crash. Yeah.
Same thing McDowell was saying earlier. That is the difference though. And I was gonna touch on that too. Yeah, man, when you work on stuff, even with these enduro cars that I run, I talk to my boy Gene about it all the time when we're working on cars and stuff. Man, I don't want to rebuild this car every damn week. That's why I'm getting rid of the Focus. I'm gonna fix it eventually, but I'm getting rid of the Focus and I'm gonna run this Camry because it's a little more mid-size. I need a car that can take a beating that also is fast. I have a car that's fast, but I'm getting knocked around and beat up and shoved around and all this other stuff, and I have to work on that. You know what I mean? So I don't want to have to put that much work into the car. So these kids that aren't working on these cars or building these cars, you know what I mean? They're just jumping in cars and racing. They're not learning the process of what it takes to put these cars together. Yeah. You know what I mean? The hard work, man. When you're putting in the hard work, you think about those things. You think about the hard work that has to go into these cars and the money and all that other stuff. When you're just jumping in a car and driving, and that's the way you grew up, bumping, banging, and you didn't have to put an inch of effort into building the car or rebuilding the car or anything like that, then you don't understand any of that. You just bang them up and get them out of the way and try to win races.
I mean, that's it. Tear it up. I mean, here, and I caught this, and I did do this. Okay, depending on the team, for a NASCAR Xfinity Series car, including the chassis, the body, the engine, electrical, shocks, suspension, anywhere from $1 million to $8 million. Now listen to this. Dale Jr. spends up to $200,000 on his Xfinity per race. I mean, dude. I'm going to tell you, racing's racing and rubbing and banging and eating and this, but when you go out there and destroy, I'm going to tell you, if I was me, if Michael said it dead, Sammy's going to pay for it, because it was his sponsor on the car. So he's going to pay for it. But boy, I'm going to tell you one thing, whether it was his sponsor or Dale Jr.'s sponsor, you go up and tear a $200,000 race car up for absolutely nothing and didn't win the race, which Kenny Wallace said, shame, shame, shame in that interview. Watch it. You'll love it. Yeah. Shame, shame, shame. You didn't win the race. If you're going to take him out, then you better win the race.
Plus, you got a crew of people that built that car.
That's right.
A crew of people that got to tear that car apart or whatever whatever happens next. I'm saying you got a crew of people that take pride in that part of the business, that and you just don't care. You just don't care about.
You don't care. All they're worried about is where they're in Charlotte or wherever they're based out of, is jumping on a private jet on Friday morning and flying to wherever they got to go. They don't think about those 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people that are back in the shop every week, putting that car together, like you just said. Then the most important thing, the damn thing comes off the hauler and it's destroyed.
Yeah.
It's destroyed.
Then there's a crew that has to work on that.
Yeah.
part. You know what I mean? They don't just take it to the dump.
No, they got to tear it apart.
Right. They don't take it to the junkyard. Right. It's
if they tear it up that bad, it's going to the junkyard.
Right. But I think that's part of the problem. And what I wanted to touch on too when we were talking to Michael McDowell earlier was the fact that, like the same thing I say about my racing. You know, rubbing is racing, and paybacks and stuff like that, are part of it. But there is a difference, and I've said this a bunch of times, on where you do it, like paying somebody back at Daytona when you're going 200, almost 200, or paying somebody back, at Bristol. There's a difference between that. There's a difference between pushing somebody out of the way and just flat running over them. There's a difference in those two things. You know what I mean? So in policing themselves, it's those decisions. It's those decision making. I mean, are you gonna shove a guy out of the way that will just run right over you the next time? Or there's a lot of that stuff you got to think about. I like to. Well, now that I've gotten back into racing, I think my philosophy now is to race people the way they race me, and I know the cars that are running me over. You know what I mean? And those are the cars, but I'm different. I'm in full contact racing. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is I haven't tried. I'm not saying I haven't crashed anybody, but what I'm saying is I haven't tried to crash anybody as of right now. But I have a list of cars right now that if it's around me and it's in the way, I'm not treating that car like I do everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And let's go back to what Michael Maddow just said earlier in this program. He said if he comes behind Christopher Bell and he knows that Christopher Bell's won 3 races already, he's locked into the tournament, worth 3 or 4 to go. He's going to move. He's going to try to move him cleanly, move him out of the way. And that's fine.
Yeah. Just like I was gonna say about his teammate that everybody was mad at a few weeks ago. Man, I had his name when we were talking to him.
Carson
Hocevar. Right. Like Carson Hocevar, he had the best answer right there. Man, who knows? The bottom line is who knows if he'll ever be, I'm sure he will, but who knows if he'll ever be right there for a win, where maybe if he's a little more aggressive, he wins.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like NASCAR wins are hard to come by. There's a lot of drivers that have been around for a bit. How many wins does Michael Waltrip have? Wins are hard to come by. And again, so is longevity in this sport. So if you can win, you're gonna get a little more longevity because at least you have that win in your pocket.
And it's a beating and banging type of thing. I work for my boss. I'm going to tell you, I saw Gene Woods' medical record. Man, he'd give Evel Knievel a run for his money. I mean, motorsports will beat you to death. I mean, he's had compound fractures. He's had concussions, broken bones. His knees are completely shot. So, I mean, to last as long as you do. Real quickly, it's good to see this. I know everybody keeps thinking this is going to be some big surprise. Carl Edwards is done racing, folks. He's not going to come back racing. He does not need to come back racing. He doesn't need it. It's going to be the honorary starter for the Goodyear 400 Sunday, the official throwback weekend of NASCAR's Too Tough to Tame, Darlington. What do you think? Carl Edwards is back throwing the flag this weekend. That ought to be pretty cool, huh?
I'd like to see him do a backflip off the flag stand afterwards.
Oh, wow.
Okay. We're not going to see that, but I'm saying that's what I'd like to see.
Want to get your feelings upon this? Amazon Prime is now going to be serving as the presenting sponsor for Kyle Larson May 25th. So they're going to have Amazon Prime, and they're also going to have the HendricksCars.com on it. He's going to try to go at the 1,100 miles, the double. He'll run start the 190 running of the Indianapolis 500. Jump on a corporate jet, helicopter corporate jet, and try to get down there in time to get it fully done for the Coca-Cola 600. The number 17, HendricksCars.com/Amazon Prime. Chevrolet will be fielded by Arrow McLaren IndyCar team with the number 5 on it. What do you think? Does he got a shot at it this year, man?
Well, if he had a shot at it last year, I'm going to guess that he had a shot at it this year. I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, I always say this, man. I don't root on too many Hendricks guys, and I don't, and I don't really root on Kyle Larson. I will root on Kyle Larson in the Indy 500 though, because as I've mentioned in the past, a NASCAR guy going over, or even these Indy guys that came to NASCAR and tried to run the double, the Robbie Gordons and Tony Stewarts, not tried but did it. you know, I'm all for that. I'm all for that, man. So I'll be rooting on him.
All right, I'm going to cut loose here. As only NASCAR's sixth president, Steve O'Donnell, will take over the executive management role. Steve Phelps, here we go. NASCAR has now presented a commissioner. We're like, what's his name at the NFL? Major League Baseball. We've got a commissioner. Well, here's my rant for you today, buddy. The first thing that you need to fix is you need to fix the damn TV deal you got going on, because it's terrible. People online are just completely bitching because they put two races. I couldn't believe when they got to Vegas that it was on FS1. People are, get it together, folks. Steve Phelps, if you're the commissioner, you and O'Donnell need to sit down. You need to get with a network, one network. Whether it's a cable network, it's a free network, whatever.
You don't like the idea of them splitting half a season and half a season?
I don't mind that, but don't sit there and go, half the races are going to, well, it's not even that anymore, because Fox has got it all the way up to a point. Then Amazon Prime's going to come in. TNT's got a bit of it, and then they're going to finish with NBC. Yeah, but if you go back and look at the scheduling on it, the ones, not even half the races that the two big flagship networks have even half of the races on the main network. It's all about a selling subscription, and that is BS. I'm sorry. It's BS all the way around. NASCAR ran good when it was on ESPN. One network covered all the races. And if there's so much, I would move this to the CW right now. Have you seen the numbers on the Xfinity Series racing numbers that they've been pulling? They have been blowing things out of the. We're talking about a 1922 share on the CW, which is a free network. Yeah. Arrow out and put your antenna, your hanger, or whatever.
Let's make it happen. Yeah.
I mean, get it together, guys.
Antennas would make it easier for me to watch in the infield too. Yeah, you know, like when you get antenna channels, it's it's everything's about cable these days. Cable. You know, not everybody has cable. It's not convenient. It's all about selling. And then now we're streaming more. You know, people are streaming more and giving up cable, and so now some stuff's got to be on stream. It's TV's more of a pain now than it ever was.
I know.
It is.
And they wonder why their viewership is down. Now they've been up a little bit this year. But I mean, stop. What was that one lady that used to, the workout chick that used to say, stop the madness? Stop the madness. Really?
I don't know. I didn't watch workout shows.
I just remember she was on. I remember she was on in the morning. She was on in the morning, and my dad would wake up early, and she'd be out there screaming her lungs off about how hard you had to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. Anyhow. I'm reading stuff online and fans of, different pages. I'm going to tell you another thing that's getting ready to happen. Another thing's getting ready to happen is when Prime and Amazon take a hold of this, you're going to watch their numbers. You know the reason why? Because of Dale Jr. Their numbers are going to soar.
I can see that. I can see that. He's he was always popular for one, and for two, he's really getting more popular with his podcast. His podcast is doing great too.
Dirty Mo TV is absolutely fantastic. I love him. I love watching his episodes.
I just saw a thing where he's going to race the number 8 Sun Drop late model somewhere. I don't remember where. I just briefly saw it just a second ago.
I think he's going to be in Florence. In Florence, South Carolina, at the track down there.
It's cool.
But just get it together. That's all. I mean, and they need to start listening to what the fans have to say. Get a good network deal. If it's going to be that, then put it on the network. Don't sit there and tease everybody with 2 or 3 races. Oh, if you want to see the rest on Fox, you got to purchase Fox Sports 1.
Yeah.
Gee, I'm going to show NBC, and I'm going to show 3 races on the NBC's Prime Network. Oh, if you want to see the rest of them, you better have Peacock. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I like when you rant. I don't like that you're upset, but I like when you rant because you make sense.
Well, I mean, I'm just a regular guy that loves motorsports, and my wife and I looked at picking up FS1. And for what, that 8 or 9 races, it was like almost $100 a month to pick this thing up. And I'm not, no. So I just turn MRN on or PRN. I'd rather listen to that.
Listen, hey, listening to football and listening to racing, for sure. 2 things that I've been known to listen to on the radio.
I love it.
As far as sports go, yeah, it's great because the guy on the radio is. I mean, like you could do this, like I hear but that's what I hear in your voice. That's what I've said before. But you are selling the hell out of this game to me, and I'm buying too. I'm like hanging on every edge. That's probably what like old time radio used to be like when they had before TVs. When they had stories and stuff, you
listen like the Shadow Knows.
Like,
yeah.
I'd imagine that's what that's like. But yeah, man, I'm on the edge of my seat every time I'm listening to football or racing on the air. The announcers really sell it to you, man, where you can visualize it, but you can't see what's going on, so you're just waiting for them to tell you. It's awesome.
I know you couldn't got anything better, and the guys that are calling now are good. But back in its day, Eli Gold, Barney Hall, Dr. Dick Bergen, those guys put the image in your brain that you could close your eyes, sit back in your chair, and just listen, and you could see them describe what Earnhardt was doing, what Rusty was doing, Jeff Bodine was doing, Kenny Schrader, any one of those guys. You could just see it as plain as day. I just, they're fantastic.
For sure.
How about you're off racing this weekend?
Yeah. I'm building. Like I said, I went to that dirt track. It was out of control. I went the first lap in. They had a chicane that was chicane-ish when you go in, but it was a right turn on the way out. So everybody goes in there and bunches up, man. We had like 50 cars or something. And I went in there and the guy behind me just plowed right into me, man. He was way back there and he just plowed right into me, shoved me in front of my teammate, and he ran into me. And my other teammate went around the outside there. And by the time I got out of that bunch in the chicane right there, man, my front end was messed up and it was running weird because the air filter had popped off. So I parked it. Like I didn't even get one lap in the dirt. And then I fixed it and I forgot to strap this is just stupid, but it was what happened. I forgot to strap the air filter back on when I put it on. I forgot to tighten it up. And it popped off after about a lap and a half, and I got stuck in the flagpole race, right where they were coming out.
Yeah,
they were coming. They were going in. Yeah, they were going in, and right where they were coming out, man, my door was facing them. I don't know why they didn't throw a red flag. We don't throw cautions,
right?
But they'll throw a red flag if your driver's door is in danger, and I felt like mine was. For about 3 laps. I finally got my car started though, and then putzed my way back around to where I was sitting before. And, so on the dirt track in Ocala, man, I had a great seat for 2 really cool races. And then a guy jumped a limo on top of a school bus, knocked 2 cars off the school bus and landed on the ground. It was awesome, man. It was a great time. The Tour of Destruction is always a great time. But you know what? I am not going to fix that Ford Focus this time around.
I'll leave her sit there for a while.
Huh? I'm gonna let it sit until our little break, and then maybe I'll rebuild it. But I have got a 2015 Toyota Camry that it's ready to build. The only thing I haven't stripped is I haven't got the back window out of it yet. That's the only thing I have to get out of it, but it's ready to start going back together as a race car. So I shouldn't have any problem. April 19th, racing the Tour of Destruction, April 19th. Plus, we're going to take that van that I had built I ran in the van mini cross. I don't think I'm going to race it, but we're going to put it needs a radiator. We're going to put a radiator in it, put a trailer hitch on it, and we're going to pull we're going to race in the trailer race with it. I don't know if I'm going to drive it, if my buddy Gene's going to drive it, if Nick's going to drive it. I'm not sure yet, but Nick won the school bus race out there in Ocala this past Saturday, so we got a victory out of it with the team over there. And but yeah, one of us is going to drive that minivan I built with a trailer on the back of it in the trailer race. So we're kind of excited about that because it's not going to take anything. And like I said, the Camry, April 19th, Tour of Destruction, Orlando Speed World. Man, I'm going to display I like to call it the Next Gen 39, only because it's a Camry and it's my second enduro car that I've built that one lasted about as long as it could so far. The other one.
More information on comedywithscratch.com. You can get it all there in that chat studio and everything else. Us this weekend, man, we're pretty much kicking back. We're heading out to the Bull Ring on Rob Street. Myself and Gene, we're all heading out to the Bull Ring on Saturday night. I think it's round number 4 of the series here, and see how our local drivers and racers are doing. Then next Thursday, before we do the show, I'll be going to the NHRA press luncheon, and I know I believe it's Ron Capps, Antron Brown, and I'm not quite sure who else is coming. I just got an email quick this morning. Really didn't have time. I just saw those 2 names, and I'm really interested in talking to Ron Capps about that big blow up that happened, man. That blew that body completely. He walked away from that thing, man.
Yeah, I saw it. That was amazing. That was amazing.
That was something else. It really was. Anything else? Social media where they can find you before I call for the man?
Man, just check out, like you said, comedyfromscratch.com or nutshacentertainment.com. If you guys want to check out the almost whole lap I got in the enduro race from my live view, then you can go to Nutshack Entertainment TV at YouTube, go to the live videos, and you'll see that. I plan on doing a lot more of that, man. I used my StreamYard, and I had 2 views in the car. It was awesome. So go check it out.
You definitely got it. We're going to call for the man. Here we go. Want to thank you for joining us. Scratch down in Daytona Beach at the Nutshack Studio. Alan Michaels here in Las Vegas at the WCOBM headquarters. Our special thanks. 2021 Daytona 500 champion Michael McDowell joining us today. Josh Hatchett, Sean Reed from the NHRA. They come into town next weekend. Get your tickets at NHRA.com. 4Wide Racing. Johnny Spilotro, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for joining us for On Pit Road Racing. Follow us on our website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at On Pit Road Racing. On Pit Road Racing is written and produced by WCOBN TV. I'm John the Announcer for On Pit Road Racing.